Right, and we are live. So what's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with Kaiju Chill O'Clock, episode 56. Just to get it out of the way, please feel free to atomic blast that like button. Helps out the algorithm a lot. Helps Godzilla fan freaks show up in other people's recommended feeds and stuff like that for Godzilla and anything Kaiju. Just to help me reach more people. And we have some fun, or at least a fun activity today, and a little friendly debate. So, this is something that has been discussed for a long time, not only here on my channel, but on others as well. So, first off, though, in the background today, just for my viewing pleasure, out of the corner of my eye, I am just watching Pacific Rim. Been a minute since I've watched this one, so decided to throw that on. But, so today, topic of debate, friendly debate. Let's keep everything as clean as we can with comments and all that stuff, because I know that this is a topic that can get a little heated. It is very opinionated, but I am going to keep this 100% as fair as I can. Not biased in any way, even though I am a Showa fan. But today we are going to be discussing Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. And the way that I am going to be doing this is I am going to be going over like main points. So we're going to be going over story, location, human drama, characters, music, kaiju, posters and artwork, and other stuff. As well as there will be overall points for the votes. So whenever you guys put in a comment that you vote, just say Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters or FW for short or DAM for short. And I will put that down in our overall tally marks. The other tally marks I have are going to be the other points that I'm going to be going over with each film as in-depth as I can. And we're just going to cut this pretty much right down the middle. Again, even though I am a Showa fan, even though I do prefer Destroy All Monsters over Final Wars, this is going to be completely non-biased. I'm just going to go through everything and in my own opinion as to why, strengths, weaknesses, pros, and cons for both films. So I thought this would be fun. I don't know how many people we will get on in here. We have 2 right now. But also, just to add to the fun, for those who follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Reptile7876, what's going on, buddy? For those that follow Godzilla Fan Freaks, my Facebook page, the Instagram page, and I even did it here on YouTube in the community segment. But I decided to do a poll on all of those as well. So there's a poll on all those platforms. So make sure you go and participate in those if you can. And so Reptile7876, and for those who are just joining, again, you guys see the thumbnail. Today we're going to have very friendly debates. We're not going to be at each other's throats. I don't expect this to get too heated because I don't want it to be. It is just going to be friendly debate competition on Final Wars versus Destroy All Monsters. And so, like I said, your guys' votes also count. So make sure you guys put a comment. Either put Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, and I will put you guys down for your tally marks on the overall votes. That's like the overall. And then my other post-its that I have down here, we're going to be going over all the other things I just mentioned. Story, location, human characters, kaiju, music, posters, artwork, all that stuff, etc. And, it's just going to be all kind of not only just my opinion, but, just the way that I feel things were handled and everything like that. So, again, it's all going to be friendly. I'm not going to be bashing anybody. If Chris, GojiFan93, or anyone else comes on in, of course, you guys always know we just give each other a hard time, but it's nothing serious. And that's the fun part of it. So, Reptile7876, I prefer Final Wars, but respect anyone's opinion. At the end of the day, it's Godzilla. Exactly. It is Godzilla. Exactly. So, Reptile 7876, I will put you down for Final Wars, sir. And just also because there are some people who aren't able to make it to the stream, but I did let them know kind of what I was doing. So they actually told me their votes ahead of time so I could put them down for the overall. So, of course, we have Goji Fan 93. I automatically just put him in the Final Wars category. So Final Wars already has him and Reptile 7876 for the overall 2 points. And then Rich from Wisconsin, what did you miss? So you didn't miss much. We just started. If you can't tell by the thumbnail, today I'm going to have a very nice, friendly debate, maybe put a nail in a coffin, I don't know, of Destroy All Monsters versus Final Wars. I'm going to be going over a lot of key factors and points, pros and cons for each film. And then there's the overall vote where you guys just put in your comments, do you guys just put Final Wars or put Destroy All Monsters? My buddy Christopher just got back with me. He is a damn fan. Destroy All Monsters. So again, if you want to put it short in the comments, FW for Final Wars or DAM for Destroy All Monsters. And I will keep track of who comments. That way I don't lose track that way. So that's the way we're breaking this up. I'm totally making this fair. We're going to have overall votes, just what you prefer, and then I'm going to be going over strengths, weaknesses, of course, my opinion on what I think. But I'm going to be fair. I'm just not going to say Destroy All Monsters is flawless because I like it more or I'm a Showa fan. I'm going to give Final Wars its due. So, like always, Atomic Blast that like button helps out a lot. And hopefully we just get a lot of interaction today. I was hoping, it's Friday, people are starting to go back to work. It's the beginning of the year. So it's hard to say what the engagement's going to be like. But then for those who might not be able to be here or whatever, there are polls on Godzilla Fan Freak's Facebook page, Instagram story, and the community YouTube posts here on YouTube. So make sure you go vote there as well. And just make your voices heard, because the polls are just going to be overall fun, what the percentages are. But here we're going to be actually tallying up the points and everything. So like I said, we have Goji Fan 93 for Final Wars. Reptile 7876 said he liked Final Wars. So Final Wars has 2 points. Sadly, Destroy All Monsters is in the lead, though, because we have Nick Adams from the Monster Report voted Destroy All Monsters. Gojira851, my buddy Matt, he voted Destroy All Monsters. Zillafan85, Destroy All Monsters. Of course, myself, Destroy All Monsters. And then my dad voted Destroy All Monsters. And then Christopher Clavero, Mr. At Everyone, just got back with me, and he voted Damn as well. So Damn is in the lead by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 points. So that's overall, though. And we're going to get started now here with the friendly debate and everything. Again, these are just my points, how kind of I feel. Again, everything is opinionated at the end of the day. But like Reptile 7876 said, it's all Godzilla. We're just having fun. This is just going to be a fun little thing to do, just because that is one of the big battles of the Godzilla community, is Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. So I was just like, why not just do something here and just make it fun? So, where to get started with here, and I have more Post-its if I need them. Hopefully I don't need to run out of it. So, let's focus on, and feel free to chime in whenever, but again, I'm just going to be cutting it straight down the middle. I'm going to be giving pros and cons to each film. And again, everything is opinionated, but I'm going to be as fair and non-biased as I can. I know some people are going to be like, oh, he's just going to say Destroy All Monsters wins. At the end of it all, I will tally up how many points each from the overall and my factor points. And then we'll see who wins overall. If Final Wars ends up beating out Destroy All Monsters overall, okay, we'll just have to wait and see. But again, people just have to vote. So remember, in the comments, and whether you're watching this live or even if you watch it later and you missed the live stream, still, please put in the comments, do you prefer Destroy All Monsters or do you prefer Final Wars? It's all fun. Rich from Wisconsin, I vote Destroy All Monsters, Nostalgic Memories. Okay, Destroy All Monsters overall is now at 7 votes to 2. Again, we don't have a lot of people on in here though, so please tell your friends, whoever you might know who might be available, who might want to chime in for Kaiju Chilled Clock, even if maybe they don't know about me. I don't know. Let's get some more people on in here. Let's get some more engagement, because I thought this would be fun for today. And like I said, I do have Pacific Rim on in the background. Been a minute since I've watched this one, and felt like just throwing it on. So we got Kaiju goodness as always here in the Godzilla Fan Freaks HQ. And of course, later on in the show, we'll probably do a room tour and stuff like that. And again, did you guys enjoy my review on the Mondo Skeletor? It's actually, for one of my videos, it's actually been performing well for like the last week. It's actually been doing pretty good. So please go support that video. Drop a like, please, because that video is gaining some traction a little bit, at least for my channel. And then, did you guys check out the very long but worth the watch Tucson Kaiju Festival video that GojiFan93 filmed and edited for me to put up on my channel? That video came out great, and it just captures all the fun. I've already watched it myself once, and then some bits and pieces of my favorite parts from the festival more times, because it just makes me smile ear to ear that I was able to do that. And it's just a great video. It didn't take me 4 years to put this one out from the very first festival that I did in 2019. So please, you guys, go watch those videos, drop them likes, and just, I hope you enjoy them overall. I hope you enjoy them. Anyways, we're almost 12 minutes into the video here. How about we get started? So, again, Destroy All Monsters versus, I gotta block out Tokyo SOS, but Final Wars. So that's what we're doing today. So we're gonna go over I'm gonna go over my list here. We're just gonna go down the ladder. We're starting off with story. Between the two, Destroy All Monsters and Final Wars, stories are a little similar. You know, you have both of them have the classic, it's an alien invasion. Of course, Destroy All Monsters is immediately just like, oh, these aliens are bad people. This one, it's, as Godzilla fans, we were like, oh, you guys are going to trust the aliens? We already know it's going to not go the way you want it to. We already know that they're bad. So in this one, the aliens try to make friends first. And in this one, it's just flat out, we're here to invade your planet type deal. It gets straight to the point. So both movies have similar stories. But I want to say, again, I have to go with the way Destroy All Monsters handled it better, because it's more of just kind of like a classic. KG 101, what's going on, man? Thank you for being here. We're just talking some friendly debate of Destroy All Monsters versus Final Wars. Which one do you pick? And anyway, so Destroy All Monsters. And if I lose track, you guys, at any point, I might ask you guys to help refresh me onto where I was at, if I have to respond to a comment or something like that, or if I just have a brain fart. So bear with me, you guys, and help me out if I lose track of where I am or what I was talking about. But anyway, story. Both of them similar. They're both alien invasion stories. The monsters are under control, etc. Where it is done a little different is where you have all the monsters basically under the aliens' control. So you do get a very classic story. That storyline's been done before. It was done in pretty much all of the Pipeworks trilogy video games. You know, stuff like that, where the aliens just had control of all the monsters, and even Godzilla. And so then you have, though, Godzilla Final Wars, where Godzilla isn't in the movie until isn't like an hour, almost an hour into the movie, before Godzilla actually shows up, you know, versus the beginning, of course. But Godzilla's the only one that's not under mind control, because he was captured. He was sealed in Antarctica. Smash that like button. Yes, Spaceman V. Yes, please. Thank you all. Atomic Blasted. Thank you so much. So I don't know. I like the factor that it's all the monsters under the aliens' control versus just all the monsters that are available except Godzilla because he was sealed away. I feel like that, to me, that hurts the film overall. Destroy All Monsters, I feel, just handed the alien invasion all better because it's just, that's just me. Again, it is an opinion, but at the end of it, I do feel like the whole alien invasion thing was just handled just a little more better than Final Wars in Destroy All Monsters. That's just me. As far as like the story goes, overall, because at least Destroy All Monsters has solid throughout. It gives you the basis of all the monsters are now collected on Monster Island. The humans have found a way to contain them. KG, I don't know, but I do like Destroy All Monsters as a title. Well, KG, do you want me to put you down for Destroy All Monsters then? I will put you down for a vote. And you get the basis, all the monsters are captured, stuff like that. Like, you kind of know what's going on, and then it throws you into the chaos of something's happening. We lost contact with Monster Island. Now all the monsters are attacking, here and there and everything. Versus this, you get the start off of the movie, they're battling Godzilla, he gets sealed away, and then after that, it just goes into the whole mutant M organization thing. You got just the way the world is, but none of the monsters are really mentioned until the aliens just start, of course, it's not apparent at first that they're the ones in control of the monsters, but it's like all of a sudden the monsters are just attacking out of nowhere. There's no like build up to where are all these other monsters? Are they just spread around the world randomly, or are they also contained? Because at the beginning of the movie, after Godzilla, our opening shot is Manda, and of course Manda gets a short end of a stick. Totally underutilized, underused kaiju, I want to say. I think that was a waste of Manda, because Manda did have a very cool Final Wars design, even though most of it was CGI, and it was just very shortly lived. I just feel like Destroy All Monsters has a better setup of the world and stuff like that, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to give the story point overall, the way everything's handled at the end of the day, to Destroy All Monsters. It's just more organized and just more kind of straightforward versus this. It doesn't give you much to go off of. Like, it's a Godzilla movie and everything like that, but as far as everything else setting up, sure, you have, the mummified Gigan and everything else. That, again, everything builds up to eventually something. But I just feel like for a Godzilla movie, that first half of Final Wars is really boring. I think we can all agree on that. It's kind of boring. It doesn't do as much. It doesn't do as much justice as Destroy All Monsters does. That's just my opinion. I think the story-wise setup and overall and everything, the way it's handled, it's just better done here. KGW, sure, why not? Have you ever played Destroy All Humans? Yes, Destroy All Humans. I have played all of those games. I love them, and I believe GojiFan93 is a big fan of Destroy All Humans as well. Great games. So KG gives a point to Destroy All Monsters. And remember, guys, put in the comments. You can either say Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, and I'll put you down for your vote. So, but yeah, story-wise, it just builds everything up better. And then, because at the end of the day, with Final Wars, what is it that we really want? What is it that they gave us? They gave us just all-out, crazy, granted they were all short monster battles. How much do you really care about the rest of Final Wars? The whole mutant organization, the aliens, this, that? No. You care about Godzilla kicking butt at the end of the day in this movie. And that is what they give us. But it's like, and if I may say this too, as a 50th anniversary film, it, for me, I have to use the word, it's kind of embarrassing. For a 50th anniversary film, it's embarrassing. You would think for the very, and it still stands today, because I don't count the short films that they've done, but the very last tokusatsu man in suit Godzilla movie is Final Wars, that was done in 2004. That was the 50th anniversary Godzilla film. So the 50th anniversary Godzilla film is the very last tokusatsu Godzilla full-length film. For me, as a 50th anniversary film, I feel like it's just such it is a mess. It's an embarrassment, because then once you get to the point of Godzilla coming onto the scene, it's just spitfire, battle after battle after battle after battle. And it's like, I feel like for a 50th anniversary, like maybe compilation type thing versus a film, they could have did the same thing and then just gave us all the monster fights. Like Godzilla going through this list of foes that were picked out from the director, producers, or Toho or whatever. And then they just do kind of like those short battles. Because at the end of the day, it's just like, that's what you kind of care about at the end of the day with Godzilla Final Wars, is Godzilla kicking butt. That is where it does the 50th anniversary right. Because it's like, okay, it's Godzilla's 50th birthday. Let's just paint him as a total unstoppable, just bad, bad A, and let's go. And it's like, you don't really care about the rest of the story at the end of the day, in my opinion. With Destroy All Monsters, you kind of care about kind of everything that's going on. So, let's see here. Reptile 7876, and I appreciate everybody who is here, that you guys are listening to me. And there's not comments saying, but, I appreciate you guys hearing my points. And that's kind of like what I wanted to do today. I don't want this to be, I'm not trying to fight anybody here. This is all friendly debate and just my opinion on how I feel at the end of the day about each film. Like, I'm doing this as fair as I can. And I think everybody would, mainly agree. Again, if your opinion's different than mine, that's fine. If you still like Final Wars better and you disagree with me entirely, that's okay. That's okay. But as far as the way the story's handled with everything, I do like Destroy All Monsters' story and overall better than the way Final Wars handled everything. Final Wars is just kind of a mess. And, it doesn't help having, the whole mutant factor and then, freaking Matrix type battles and motorcycle chases and stuff. To me, it almost doesn't feel like you're watching a Godzilla movie, because those factors with the human characters in a Godzilla movie, in my opinion, they don't really work. I understand, it was the Millennium era, stuff like that, but I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't want Matrix, unreal. The motorcycle chase was unrealistic as heck, if you ask me, because what's his name is on a Honda crotch rocket, and then the other guy's just on a dirt bike on the highway. No offense, but that dirt bike is not competing with that Honda crotch rocket. I'm just saying that doesn't work. Now, of course, that's shameless advertising for Honda's probably brand new bike at the time. No doubt that was shameless advertising. Monster Report. But there's just things that just work better overall as a story. And I feel like the human aspect of the story with the monster story and the aliens as a total package works better, and you care about it more with Destroy All Monsters than you do Final Wars. At the end of the day, that's just what I feel. And again, for a 50th anniversary film, you would expect something like Godzilla -1. Okay? There's a good comparison. Godzilla Final Wars, yes, was fun. You had the fun factor. But that's where I'm saying it probably would have worked better just doing the monster fights in a compilation, short fight video, short fights video compilation for Godzilla for the 50th anniversary versus doing this whole thing. Because, yeah, that's just my opinion. For a 50th anniversary film, you would think. Oh, we got Leslie To hell with the friendly debate. I'm here for blood. Where's Goji Fan 93 with his Titano underappreciating hating ass? Where the hell is he? I don't know where he is, Leslie. I don't know where he is. But so for story, Destroy All Monsters did it better than Final Wars for an overall story setup. Again, Final Wars is just all over the place in my opinion, and it's just a lot of nonsense that we don't need, for real, that don't really fit in a Godzilla movie. And again, for a 50th anniversary, tribute film basically, and for the last tokusatsu Godzilla type full-length film, again, I have to use that word again. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So Destroy All Monsters wins the first point for the story. I just have to give it to that. And don't worry, we're going to go into a lot of other things. We're only 25 minutes in. I got a laundry list of things to go through here. And don't worry, I'm going to give strengths and weaknesses to each film. After we get done with some of this stuff, I'll get more to like maybe little intricate stuff about each film. So don't worry, we're going to get there. Final Wars does have some points. Don't worry. Again, I'm doing this as fair as I can. This is not biased by any means. Even though I am a Showa fan, even though I love Destroy All Monsters way more than Final Wars, I'm doing this completely as fair and as fair as I can. So bear with me. Leslie's here to start some fires, so I'll let Leslie start those fires. Locations. Each movie, of course, has different locations because you're dealing with a worldwide event, right? So Destroy All Monsters and Final Wars, you have different locations in each movie too. Like, it's not all the same location. Heck, Arizona, where I'm at right now, gets a cameo. Granted, it's a guy in a trailer in the middle of the desert, which, in all honesty, there is here, but it's not. The way they pictured Arizona that way just makes me laugh because that is too far from what Arizona actually is than just like this trailer park dude just in a single trailer in the middle of nowhere, and Kubanga just smashes him. So it's like, I gotta give it props that at least Arizona was mentioned in Final Wars. I will give it that. I did appreciate that as a Arizonan, as a Tucsonan. 4th generation, mind you. So I did appreciate that Arizona got some love in a Godzilla movie, for sure. But when the monsters start attacking, sure, you get the whole chaos thing of this monster's here, this monster's here. But this is where, again, I feel Final Wars captured it better. Or not Final Wars, Destroy All Monsters captured it better. And this is where kind of music can kind of come into play. When you go back and you watch Destroy All Monsters, and then the monsters are popping up in different areas around the world, there's no music, right? There's no music. In Final Wars has a extensive soundtrack. It's a lot of usage of the music. There's very little scenes in Final Wars where there's no music. It is a lot of music. In Destroy All Monsters, I like that better when the monsters are showing up. And let me just catch up on comments here. Reptile7876, I like both soundtracks too. We will get to soundtracks. Soundtracks is kind of part of this. Honestly, even though I enjoy 1968 slightly more, unfortunately, both films suffer from the same issues where they crammed everything into these films, sci-fi wise, and the monsters take a back seat. Leslie, you were not wrong on that. You were not wrong on that. But I will say, still, Destroy All Monsters handled it a lot better than Final Wars. And Leslie, what's your overall pick? Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars? So I could put you down for a vote. But, KG, did you know Ben 10 released a 3D CGI movie called Destroy All Aliens? I did not know that. I did not know that. That is very cool. Anyway, back to point topic. So, the locations. A lot of the locations, of course, they couldn't just build kind of sets for every location. So some locations in Final Wars were CGI, CGI implemented. But there were still plenty of sets in Final Wars that were practical. Of course, all the sets in Destroy All Monsters were practical. But again, this is when music can make or break a scene. I feel like the tension that Destroy All Monsters adds with no music and the monsters attacking and you hear the panic of the people, especially when Gorosaurus is breaking through the ground and everything. Again, there's no music. So you get that sense of eeriness. You get that sense of terror. Sure, Final Wars has like a cool track when the monsters are destroying everywhere and everything like that, and it's kind of like a sad music, you know, because it's like, oh, what are we going to do? We poor humans on this planet, we're done for. You know, of course that worked, but this is where, in my opinion, having no music adds to the terror. It adds to the suspense. And that is where just Destroy All Monsters used the locations of the world and destructions and everything better. Plus, not to mention, Destroy All Monsters has one of my favorite scenes of the whole Godzilla series, and that is when you have Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, Manda destroying Tokyo. That whole scene in the middle of the movie where they finally just, the aliens attack Tokyo and the music and everything. Oh, it was fantastic. And you even had rockets and missile launchers coming out of the skyscrapers in the city and stuff. It's just little touches like that that were kind of cool versus all of these different types of, not really Gotengo type ships, but kind of copies of the Gotengo ship, just without the drill piece. I don't know. I just feel like all of that with all the locations and everything, and then when you think about the practical effects, and then of course even the location of the final battle, I like the final battle taking place at Mount Fuji, where there's not a lot of collateral damage and everything. And then you have the main city, I think it was Tokyo, where Final Wars took place in the final battle. I just like the whole setting for the final battle better in Destroy All Monsters. Gojira851 chimed in here. Don't worry, buddy. I got your point down for Destroy All Monsters. I got a second. Destroy All Monsters is my pick. Have fun, everyone. There you go, bud. And I don't think Leslie gave me a final answer, but Leslie, you still got to tell me if you're still here anyway. Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, so I can put down that overall vote. Remember, everybody, Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. Just put one of those in a comment, and I'll make sure that you guys get your points. So, for locations and everything at the end of the day and the way everything was kind of done, I got to give it to Destroy All Monsters again. You know, the locations and everything around the world, just it's just better as a whole. It's just better as a whole, because for some monsters we kind of got an extensive look at locations for a little bit, but at the same time it was very quick, especially when Godzilla is just spitfiring through a lot of these monsters once he gets on screen. It's just like, so I got to give locations, I got to give it to Destroy All Monsters. They just handled the feel of the world better, in my opinion, better. And again, there's a lot of things that can hurt that. Versus, you know, the CGI versus practical. Music in certain spots where maybe you shouldn't have any music. So, human characters and drama. Leslie, Destroy All Monsters will get my pick. The only thing I will say Final Wars has over Destroy All Monsters is the monster action. I find the monster stuff better in Final Wars, and you get more on top of that. You are true on that. You are right on that, Leslie. But Leslie votes Destroy All Monsters overall. So, human and drama characters. Okay, so not only am I going to be kind of going over human drama, but then human characters as well. So we got some Final Wars points finally. Final Wars has some human drama and characters going for it. Mainly more characters than the drama. But Final Wars points that I'm going to give it. Final Wars has a few good things going for it. One, you have the Predator, Don Fry. Guy just spews testosterone as he talks, you gotta love Don Fry. So I do love Final Wars for Don Fry's character, Captain Gordon. So there we go. We have 1 point for Final Wars. You have returning classic characters from the Godzilla series. Of course, Akira Takarada. There's another point. That's a big one. I'm not good with the actresses, the actor and actresses' names, but help me out in the comments if you can. But the female character, she was in a lot of the Showa movies, and of course, she made her return to Final Wars. Her character, I'm gonna put that down as a point. So again, you have a lot of classic returning, characters for this 50th anniversary film, which again is good for it. All the mutant characters, even the main protagonist, I don't care about all that much. I don't. I care about the returning Toho actors and actresses that have been with us for years. That was awesome to see. And Don Fry. Everyone else, I hate to say it, I don't really care. They just add really nothing to the story for me. The whole mutant thing and everything, whatever. I mean, it serves its purposes in some scenes, and then it's also just kind of like, I could have did without my Godzilla movie having elements of X-Men and the Matrix. Let's just put it that way. I will say another character that I do like from the film. I do like the way he's portrayed in the English dub better than the Japanese subtitles. And that is X. I love the person that dubbed his character. I love the laugh. The laugh gets me. So X gives Final Wars another point. Because I do love the way that X was dubbed in the movie. His laugh, his everything. That I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's great. So X. Reptile. Yes. X is awesome. Yes. Yes. So I will say I do like X. I do like X. Leslie, the human characters in Final Wars are so meh to me. Granted, Destroy All Monsters doesn't exactly have amazing human cast either, but I do dig them more than Final Wars. Exactly, Leslie. Exactly. So you have that. As far as human drama and everything is concerned, that's where Destroy All Monsters does it a little better, because you have drama in Final Wars, but it's stuff that you really don't care about. It's stuff that you really don't care about. Even down to the old man and the young kid with Minya. Like, there's some like drama build up there because the old man's kind of informing the kid, like, you see, this is why Godzilla's angry, but it's like, it just, I don't know, it just don't work. In Destroy All Monsters, you have, of course, the people that worked on the island and ended up being under control of the aliens. And then, of course, you have that great scene to where the guy jumps out the window and it's nothing but a freaking mannequin doll just diving out the window. I love that scene. I don't care how bad it looks. I love the way they did that. But again, that's drama. It's like, oh, the aliens just kind of ordered this guy to kill himself so they don't find out about, that's tension. That's like, oh, dang. Because then they find the little controller thing. There's more in-depth things going on with the humans and aliens and monsters in Destroy All Monsters versus Final Wars. So that's where the drama aspect works, because then you have the love triangle and not love triangle, but the relationship between our main male and female characters. And of course, she becomes under control of the aliens. And so he's like, oh, my girl is now, brainwashed and being mind controlled. We got to figure out a way to save her. And it's like, so you have just a lot of drama with that there. Especially, when he just goes in and just rips her earrings off her ear. Little intense, man. I probably would have jumped to that, but No, and then one thing that my dad always likes to point out when he watches Destroy All Monsters, he's like, I didn't know Joe Biden was in Destroy All Monsters because the old guy, he almost just looks like Joe Biden a little bit. But my dad makes that joke, so that's funny. Leslie, but I have to say the aliens in both movies again suffer from the same issue. They don't hold a candle to the. Oh, no, no. The aliens in both of these movies do not hold anything to Planet X aliens from Astro Monster at all. At all. Those aliens are the best. And his hair gets spiked up when he fights. Exactly. It's like anime, dude. Exactly. Gotta love X. Akira Takarada was such a disappointment in Final Wars. It's mind-boggling to me that he came back for that film, but didn't come back come back to reprise Ogata in Godzilla vs. Destroya. Leslie, you make a good point. That right there is a good point because, like I said, for a 50th anniversary film, that's what I mean. Godzilla Final Wars is an embarrassment. The way that it handled so much. And that even goes for these returning actors and actresses. You think that they would have reprised their role for a better movie. Like Leslie said, Destroya. We had the return of Emiko in Destroya. Why couldn't we have Ogata? You know, like that would have been a big one. So I do agree with Leslie there. So overall, though, human drama, I do have to give it to Destroy All Monsters. It just does it better. As far as like individual characters go and returning actors and actresses, I give it to Final Wars. Final Wars did get some points for Captain Gordon, Don Fry, Akira Takarada, the other Toho actress, which I forget her name, and then X. Final Wars gets those points. So, we have 8 people on in here, 7 likes. Thank you all so much for being here. We are just having friendly debate fun. And so remember, if you're just now joining us, please put in the comments, do you prefer Destroy All Monsters or do you prefer Godzilla Final Wars? Put it in the comments. I'll make sure I put down your vote in the overall. Because at the end of this whole debate, once I'm done factoring in everything, I will count up the tally marks, and whoever has the most tally marks will win. And I'm just making my points. Leslie here, he's making some good points that I haven't even touched on, so I'm glad Leslie's here for some of this. Leslie, if you can stay for all of it, that's great. If you can't, I understand. So we did story, locations, human drama, and characters. Music. I'm sorry, but this is a landslide. Okay, let me see. Where is it? Can I grab it easily enough? Let me grab this really quick. Again, Final Wars for a 50th anniversary film is an embarrassment. And here's another one. The soundtrack for it. It doesn't do it for me. Like, none of the soundtracks really. Maybe the motorcycle bike chase scene soundtrack, that tune's okay. But again, all of that stuff works better in like a Matrix type film, not necessarily a Godzilla film. I just, again, now this again is very heavily opinionated, but I gotta give the soundtrack to Destroy All Monsters, because when you got Mr. Rockstar here doing your soundtracks, you can't do it. And nothing of Ifukube's music was in Final Wars. It was totally its own thing. Destroy All Monsters wins this one by a landslide with the music. I'm sorry. It just does. It's Final Wars. I don't like the music. for me, it's just, it doesn't go. And I especially hate the whole, I think they even call it Happy Birthday Godzilla. That tune, the dun 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 dun, that whole thing. I hated that. I thought that was so misplaced and so Destroy All Monsters wins this point with a landslide as far as music goes. And you cannot tell me I'm wrong. Since Leslie's here, you cannot tell us that we are wrong. Music was just so much better in Destroy All Monsters. So, yeah. So music, easy topic. Now we have a big one. And points are going to be going to each category for this. We have Kaiju. What's the score, Godzilla fan? Oh, Monster Report's here. What's the score? So, for the overall scores, Destroy All Monsters is leading 9-2. For the point scores, we're tied. Final Wars has 4. Destroy All Monsters has 4. But overall, Destroy All Monsters is winning right now. Richmond, Wisconsin. There you go. Kumi Mizuno. If I butchered the name still, I'm sorry. But yes, Richmond, Wisconsin. Thank you for that. Leslie, I'm sorry, but the soundtrack-wise, comparing Final Wars to Ifukube Masterpiece of Destroy All Monsters is like trying to stop a runaway locomotive with a pillow. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's nothing to discuss here. If you really like the Final Wars soundtrack over the Destroy All Monsters soundtrack, more power to you. But me and Leslie are going to hammer it into you that you are wrong. There's no contest. So now, Kaiju. We're on to that category for both films. Kaiju. So, as I have both movies here, Destroy All Monsters has 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 Kaiju. 11 Kaiju. That last bubble there is just the Toho symbol in a bubble. So we have 11 Kaiju in Destroy All Monsters. Final Wars, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 4 more Kaiju in Destroy All Monsters, or in Final Wars, than we do Destroy All Monsters. Now, just because more Kaiju doesn't mean that it's better. We're going into Kaiju designs. We can go into how Kaiju were handled, stuff like that. So, again, this first one's kind of opinionated. Godzilla himself. I'm not big on the Final Wars design. That's just me at the end of the day. Like, don't get me wrong, it could have been way worse. But the Final Wars design, I don't know. I don't like the slimness. I understand it was the most flexible Godzilla suit because it had to be flexible because of the way Godzilla fought and everything. But I don't know. From the dorsal spines to the face, the ears, the hands, I don't know. Something about Final Wars doesn't speak to me. Of course, again, I like more classic Godzilla designs. So 68, I have to give it to that. So let's see. That'll be Dam's 5th main point. But I will give Final Wars a point for Gigan. Gigan was awesome in Final Wars. I loved Gigan's design, his look, everything. Gigan was done great in Final Wars. So I will give Final Wars that. I will also give Final Wars that it had Hedra. Granted, he should have been utilized a lot better, in my opinion. But I will give a point to Final Wars for having Hedra, because I do love Hedra. I love King Caesar too, but King Caesar in Final Wars, flush that down the toilet 10 times. Get that out of here. Terrible. Let's see here. we had a lot of returning monsters between the two films. Of course, you have Godzilla, you have Anguirus, Kumonga, Mothra, Manda, Minya. But outside of that, that was it. I feel the Destroy All Monsters cast just was better. Granted, not all the monsters were utilized to an extent that maybe they should have been, but it was nice that Gorosaurus was included. It was nice that Baragon was included. Granted, he was just in the background. It was nice Manda was there. It was cool to have Manda utilized versus Final Wars just killing him off immediately. Varan. Varan was nice to have. Granted, again, he was just in the background. But you know what? I'll settle for that. They were still in the movie. So as an overall monster cast, I do have to give it to Destroy All Monsters. Plus the suits at the time. There's just something about the Final Wars suits that they just... Granted, all Godzilla's fake. It's all practical suits, stuff like that. The Showa series suits, though, are amazing. Are amazing to where they actually... Whether you want to take it that way, but to me, the Showa suits are very realistic. Versus the Final Wars suits, a lot of them, they literally looked like costumes. And what I mean by that is compare Ultraman Kaiju to Godzilla Kaiju. That's really the difference. I just didn't like the quality of the suits in Final Wars, most of them. Like I said, Gigan was good, Hedra was good, Rodan's really hard to mess up, so he was okay. But like Monster X looked like something out of Power. He looked like a Power Rangers villain. Even Kaiser Ghidorah was kind of meh when you really come down to it. Like Grand King Ghidorah would have been a better suit choice for Godzilla fighting Ghidorah at the very end or something like that. Yeah, for a majority, all the monster suits in the Showa series for Destroy All Monsters just are doing it. Comparing the monster rosters as a whole, this is from Leslie. Despite Final Wars having more, I still prefer Damn. I'm sorry, but the way Final Wars treated King Caesar, Hedra, and the three versus one soccer match, Final Wars can go to hell for that. Exactly. So again, I have to give a point to Destroy All Monsters for overall just treating the monsters better. The monsters were all handled better in Destroy All Monsters. So, I mean, that's just that point. But again, Final Wars got some points. Final Wars got some points. You got some points for Gigan, and you got points for Hedra. Yeah. Again, I would have liked to see more original favorites in Final Wars, and maybe I probably would have given it the benefit of the doubt of the Kaiju over some of the design choices too. Like having King Caesar in the movie was great to see him again after only being in one movie from the '74. But the way that the suit was and the way they handled all that, it was just, no, I didn't like it. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Rebranding Zilla. Okay. Here's where I'll give a point to Final Wars. Rebranding Godzilla 98 to just Zilla and then having Godzilla obliterate him. Final Wars gets a point. I did enjoy that because that iguana needs to go away. I still stand. Godzilla 98, absolutely terrible. If it was something else other than Godzilla, okay, decent kaiju movie. But just because the Godzilla name's attached to it, that's not Godzilla. That movie's garbage. But I will give Final Wars a point for Godzilla destroying Zilla in like 5-10 seconds. Perfect. But yeah, no, again, and this goes to the way just the fights were handled. Godzilla Final Wars would have worked better as just give us a compilation of the fights, and that's it. We didn't need everything else the movie had to give us. Because with Final Wars, what is it that you care about the most? Again, you care about Godzilla kicking butt, which is what he does. So, again, Final Wars does get that point. I'll give it a bonus point for that. But it was just handled bad. Again, Final Wars would have worked better as a short film battle compilation than a movie in general. For a 50th anniversary film as a whole, again, it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. My opinion, but it's an embarrassment. So I even gave Final Wars a bonus point. So can't say I'm being unfair or biased. I'm making good points here. Good points. Next, I want to talk about posters and artwork. For me, Final Wars only had one cool poster. And that's the one where it's just Godzilla and he's like doing that look over his shoulder and roaring and all the spines are like in your face. That poster for Final Wars, cool. Great artwork. It looked awesome. Everything else for Final Wars, I didn't like. You know, the original poster for Destroy All Monsters, that artwork is fire. All the German posters or any, you know, all those other alternative artwork posters that were done back in the day for Destroy All Monsters. All those artworks are better. The front cover for Godzilla Final Wars, at least for this picture here, you know, I'm even going down in depth to that. Plain Jane, kind of like, okay. Better artwork, better cover overall. So I have to give this one to Destroy All Monsters. It just had better posters. It's had better artwork than Final Wars combined, in my opinion. You know, I can't wait to see what Cavity Colors does in the future for a Destroy All Monsters collection, because in reality, their Final Wars collection that Cavity Colors did, I don't know. There was just something about the way that Godzilla was done. It looked weird. Gigan looked weird, which again, you would think Gigan from Final Wars, how could you mess that cool of a guy up? You know, the artist for Cavity Colors, I hate to say it, it looked like from head on and the way it was done, Gigan looked like he just had the dumbest smile on his face, like, "Argh!" And it just didn't look good. So, Destroy All Monsters gets posters and artwork point. Oh, let's see. We talked about anniversary film. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to touch on with each film. Again, just down to the scenes. I like the way that Destroy All Monsters handled the monsters destroying different parts of the world. Again, it's really hard to top the whole invasion of Tokyo scene with Godzilla, Rodan, Manda, and Mothra in the middle of Destroy All Monsters. That whole scene is just awesome with the music and everything. It's great. Human characters overall, in my opinion, you just had more. I mean, heck, Destroy All Monsters even has space scenes because you have the whole moon-based thing. So you even have scenes that, locations rather, that take place on the moon in space versus just on Earth. You know, stuff like that. All of that was just handled better, in my opinion. All the monsters were handled a lot better. You know, granted, again, like Leslie said, we had more monsters in Final Wars, which we do. We have technically 4 more monsters in Final Wars than we do Destroy All Monsters. But, I mean, killing off Manda in the very beginning, Godzilla's not in the movie until a good hour in. You had the whole soccer match with King Caesar, Rodan, and Anguirus. That was weird. I mean, even though Baragon and Varan were in the background of Destroy All Monsters, I feel like that's better than them just being butchered as characters. Because, again, it was kind of disgraced the way some characters were handled. Hedra. Again, like Leslie said, 3 to 5 seconds throughout the whole movie. That's it? That's all Hedra got? Ebirah got more than Hedra. Ebirah technically showed up twice. Once with Hedra. Come on. You know, so, and the whole final battle segment, I have to give to Destroy All Monsters. Granted, it's outnumbered. It's like, oh, how's Ghidorah gonna beat this many monsters? It's still a very cool spectacle to see all the monsters in one spot defending Earth against the Kilok's the final bout with Ghidorah. That was just cool. Godzilla and then Mothra coming in to help against Monster X and Gigan, it was okay, but for me, it didn't hold the spectacle that Destroy All Monsters has at the ending with the battle at Mount Fuji. That's just my opinion. I just think the final battle, you got to give it to Destroy All Monsters. I mean, Final Wars, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll give Final Wars another point, though, because at least gravity beams were done right for Kaiser Ghidorah, because Ghidorah's always had gravity beams, right? When you think of gravity beams, you think of what Kaiser Ghidorah was able to do. So I'll give them the benefit that the gravity beams in Final Wars actually did what you think gravity beams would do. I gotta give a point to Destroy All Monsters, just having an overall better final battle. Again, guys, we've had people on in here. Please put in your vote in the comments. I will put them down for an overall. Do you like Final Wars or do you like Destroy All Monsters better? You better put them in the comments now, because afterwards, people who watch this later, I hate to say it, but their votes, they'll count because they enjoy what they enjoy, but they won't count towards this. Because once I'm done here, we're going to count up everything. So we'll see how we are. But I think I've made some solid points, being more than fair with everything. Again, it just comes down to, I feel Destroy All Monsters was just handled a lot better than Final Wars. Again, when you really come down to the factor that Final Wars was a 50th anniversary movie, and it's the last tokusatsu Godzilla film that Toho's done, it's kind of an embarrassment, really. My buddy Tim, who's not really a Godzilla fan, but he sat down and we watched Final Wars together. And even Tim, he hasn't seen Destroy All Monsters yet, so me and Tim still have to watch Destroy All Monsters. But he was like, what is, like, Final Wars it's trash. That's, like, it's such a mess of a film. And that's his words, and that's from not really a Godzilla fan, but Tim has seen some Heisei movies. He's seen bits of Millennium, Legendary. Tim has seen -1. He's seen some of the Showa movies like Hedra and Megalon. So Tim has seen a little range of stuff to where, it's like Final Wars just wasn't like, oh, this is a crappy movie. And it's like, well, anybody who hasn't seen a Godzilla movie will say Final Wars is garbage. No, Tim has some experience. He's not a hardcore fan, but, he did not like Final Wars. He was just like, this movie hurts. But, so please, guys, put them in the comments. I know that there's some people who have to be here who haven't commented yet. Put Destroy All Monsters or put Final Wars in your comment, and I'll put them down. I will tally them together. Trying to think what other points I could make. We're over an hour right now. That's okay. We're doing good on time. Again, everybody's going to have their opinions at the end of the day. Like Reptile said at the beginning of the stream, sure, we may prefer some films over others, but at the end of the day, it's Godzilla. And we all love Godzilla. As much as I don't like Final Wars, I still have it on physical media. I watch it and granted, I probably don't watch it as many other Godzilla films that I have, but every now and then I will throw it in. I don't absolutely despise the movie like 98 Godzilla, where it is nowhere to be seen in my collection or on my movie shelf. So, at the end of the day, it is Godzilla. At the end of the day, we're all gonna like what we're gonna like. But this is where I just really wanted to break it down and just be like, guys, it's not just because I love Showa. It's not just because I don't like Final Wars and I like Destroy All Monsters better. There are key factors here. And I think going over all of them just now, I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion. If you still like Final Wars after this, guess what? That's fine. More power to you. I'm not going to dog on you for it. I'll still dog on Goji Fan 93 because we have fun banter with it. Because that's what it is. When you have what me and Chris do over Final Wars and Destroy All Monsters, that's fun. It's not. It's a totally different landscape when you have people who are just like get so heated about it to where then you get threats involved and this and that. No, it's like what we have is harmless and we know it's fun. That's why we do it. We don't do it because we're serious. Because if it was serious, guys, do you think me and Chris or anybody else who likes Final Wars would have the relationships that we do? The friendships? Probably not. So, at the end of the day, people are going to like what they're going to like. I just really wanted to have a fun little debate here on, key points, giving each film its due on pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses. Gojira 851, my buddy Matt, he pointed out like one of the main weaknesses of Destroy All Monsters, and I agree with him, the fire dragon. It was a nice little build up. This thing's exploding everything. It's like, oh dang, And at the end of it, it's just one of the key lock flying saucers. It was like, that's kind of a letdown. It was kind of just, eh. So, I mean, the fire dragon, that's a point that's not worth, mentioning. It's not that big. Moonlight SY3, I'll take that over the Gotengo. I love the Moonlight SY3 rocket ship. Granted, the Gotengo has a bunch of weapons and everything like that. It's just kind of like a reskinned Atragon, which is another cool throwback. So, you know what? I'll actually give 2 points, or 1 point each. I'll give 1 point to Final Wars for kind of giving us a reskin of another classic Toho movie, Atragon, with the Gotengo. And then I will give Destroy All Monsters a point for the Moonlight SY3 as far as vehicle goes, because both the vehicles deserve some respect to one extent than another. So there's another point. See, right now I'm just trying to come up with little things, but I'm being fair. So, again, guys, we have 10 people on in here, 9 likes. Thank you all so much. Atomic blast that like button if you have not already. We are just having a friendly debate and just overall voting for Destroy All Monsters over Final Wars. I thought this would be a fun kind of activity to do today. So, please put in a comment either Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, and I will put your vote down in the overalls for each category. We have enough people on in here. I know that not everybody here has commented something. Let me check. I'm behind. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am so behind on comments. Again, technical issue. For some reason, it wasn't telling me when new comments were coming through. Hang on. Leslie, the only thing Kaiju-wise Final Wars has over Damn is that at least Ghidorah beat the brakes off of Godzilla in 2004. I actually like that. Okay, that's fair. Leslie, honestly, the suits in Final Wars looked like they belong on an Ultraman. That's what I mean. Not a Godzilla film of this caliber. Sorry, not sorry. No, Leslie, that's fair. That's exactly what I was meaning. Leslie, also, I'm so sorry I'm behind on all these comments. Again, my thing was not telling me anything. I also feel a tad disappointed that Mechagodzilla wasn't included in Final Wars. Granted, I know he was in the prior 2 films, but for this film to be the supposed last film and him not there was wrong. Another good factor. Again, that is where I say Final Wars missed its mark. Final Wars could have been absolutely outstanding. especially for a 50th anniversary film. You factor that in, it's an embarrassment. From the music to the way monsters and everything was handled, it's just a mess. Leslie, I also read somewhere that Jet Jaguar was brought up to come back in Final Wars, but it was allegedly rejected because they felt JJ wouldn't fit in the movie. No, JJ would have fit in the movie. You know how cool it would have been? Okay, Leslie, here you go. You know how Jet Jaguar would have worked in the movie? He could have came out of completely left field. They could have kept him a secret. How much cooler would it have been instead of Mothra coming to aid Godzilla, and because it's Gigan, again, not Megalon, but it's close, to have Jet Jaguar come in and have an epic battle with Gigan off to the side of Godzilla and Monster X. You guys cannot tell me that that would have been dope. That would have been dope. Monster Report, where's Chris, Goji Fan 93 during this convo? I don't know where he's at. I don't know. Bobby Reynolds, what's up? Have you rated it on rewatchability? Rewatchability? Destroy all monsters. Destroy all monsters gets rewatchability. 100%. Because like you said, Nick, Final Wars wears us out. Yeah. Goji Fan 93, yo, I feel like I'm entering enemy territory. Man, I'm so sorry I'm behind on all these comments. I'm trying to catch up as fast as I can. Final Wars did Hedra real bad. Oh, man. Oh, let me see. All I'm going to say is Final Wars for the win. Enough said. Bobby Reynolds, I like Destroy All Monsters. I love Godzilla Final Wars a little more, but have to combine both of my favorite genre, kaiju, action, and sci-fi. So, Bobby, are you Destroy All Monsters or are you Final Wars? How's that, Nick? How's that beautiful Arizona weather right now? We are getting buried by snow and blasted by wind. It's been cold here. It's actually yesterday we had hail and rain. Today it's clear and sunny. So our winter has been cold. It's been wet and cold. Today it's just cold and sunny. Yeah, we've had very weird weather here for Tucson right now. Bob Reynolds, have I seen War in Space, a Toho take of Star Wars, and came out this? I have not. I'll have to check that out. I did not know that. Goji Fan 93, I think it was the perfect modern Showa style to end the series with a bang. That, you know, that's fair. That's fair. I agree to disagree. I just feel like it was handled bad overall. Chris, if you want, you probably have to go back and watch this stream from the beginning, and we'll have to go over the points. They were saving Jet Jaguar for the sequel. Remember the short film they released with Jet Jaguar fighting Godzilla in the Final War suit? Yeah, you could use that too, yeah. And then Bobby says Team Final Wars. Okay, Final Wars gets another point from Bobby. And we are caught up on comments. I'm sorry, guys, for my technical issue. Hopefully my device doesn't do that again to me. But, yes, you guys, please put in a comment. Nick, I already have your vote. I already have down Chris's vote as well. I have Gojira851, his vote. I have Zillafan85, and then my dad's vote as well. So I do have votes here for overall. So please, if you have not yet voted in a comment, put Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars, and I'll put down your vote. Does anybody else have any, Nick, do you have any other factors that you want to weigh in on? Rewatchability was a good one, and I do have to give that to Destroy All Monsters. Final Wars, again, it's... The rewatchability factor in Final Wars, to me, is, again, that first part of that whole movie is just slow. Monster Report, visual effects. Visual effects. That's a good one. I do like that category, visual effects. Visually, again, when you take under consideration all the locations, the way the monsters were handled in each movie, both Destroy All Monsters and Final Wars have their points. Now, Chris, that is where I discussed earlier. But visual effects, you know what? I'm going to give a point to both films because it's really hard to narrow down the visual effects for each. Because each of them have their highlights of visual effects, for sure. The whole ending bit in Final Wars where the asteroid or whatever, Monster X, finally arrives on Earth, and then Godzilla's in that giant crater that just leveled this city. That was a cool visual effect. That was fun. But now, Chris, yes, the main baddie, I actually gave Final Wars more points for human characters and stuff like that. So, Destroy All Monsters actually had more consistent visual effects. I will admit. Okay. But now, as far as the aliens as a whole, I will give you the Keylocks were kind of boring. They were kind of just there. And then the visual effects in Final Wars are not consistent. See, I was willing to give Final Wars a point for the visual effects, but Chris, you're kind of making me rethink my choices here. I gave them both a point because some do have Final Wars does have some moments, but consistency-wise, the majority goes to Destroy All Monsters. But now, Chris, yes, back to the aliens. The aliens did have a little more going for them in Final Wars. They were a little more engaged, especially with the whole facade of not being bad, but then being bad. The Keylocks, I will admit, they were boring. So you're not wrong there. And I did give Final Wars a point for X because I liked X, especially in the dubbed. I loved his laugh. in the dub. Sold. Chris, the final battle with Monster X is the best display of visual effects. Yeah, that wasn't bad either. The whole beam battle and explosion and everything. That's what I mean. Final Wars has its moments with visual effects. But consistency-wise, you are right. Destroy All Monsters deserves it. As much as it was kind of weird and was more of a Dragon Ball Z feel, I did like the whole Mothra and Gigan, doing the clashes in the air. That was cool. But again, imagine if it was Jet Jaguar instead. Would have been even cooler. But so it does have its moments. Bobby Reynolds, X and Joker should do a laughing compilation. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Again, I'm not really seeing a ton of comments roll through, so guys, please don't be afraid to comment. For those who have already, don't worry, I have your votes. But for those who have not yet voted in a comment, please put it in the live chat. Either Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. Or if you don't want to spell it all out, put FW for Final Wars, DAM for Destroy All Monsters. Come on, let's get these down because I know that there's plenty of people here who haven't voted in the live chat. There has to be, anyway. The original Japanese actor was brilliant. I'll give you that too. I have watched Final Wars in the Japanese and for subs, but it's just my opinion. I like the dubbed a lot better for X. That's just me. Leslie, Jaws theme playing. Goji fan not knowing the danger his ass is in. Uh-oh. Reptile, I love the shot where Godzilla fires his atomic breath at the meteor and plants himself in the ground. It looks so cool. That is cool. That is a cool moment. And then Monster Report. Final Wars is where Elon got the rename for Twitter. Oh man, Nick and his ex, or Elon and his ex, I should say. I still love that little bit that you put together with that, Nick. That was great. But guys, please, If you have not yet, put it in the live chat. Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. These votes matter. Chris will even tell you that. So anybody who has not put a vote yet in a comment, please do it. Because once we're all done with that, I think we're about ready to tally up these marks here. And again, Chris, if you wanted to go back later at some point and rewatch the beginning of this stream, please do, because again, points were made for both movies, pros and cons, weaknesses, strengths, stuff like that. I'm being completely fair. This is not biased. Leslie, not as dirty that you did the Titanosaur. Oh man, let's see. Goji fan, Destroy All Monsters did Varan and Baragon dirty, but at least they were there. At least they were there. I see what Leslie's saying now. Bobby Reynolds, one day we should do Godzilla 1998 versus Dragon Ball Evolution. Both movies are trash. Both movies are trash. I'll even say that. And then Leslie said, not as dirty. Oh, yeah, the whole Titanosaurus thing. Oh, man. We will address that on this damn show. Monster Report. Final Wars had a huge plot hole. What happened to Takarada's dog? Is he dead? Is he an alien? What was the psyopsy? The heck? I don't know what just happened to... Did I touch the remote accidentally? Maybe I touched the remote. For some reason, I'm watching Pacific Rim in the background, and for some reason, it just did this thing to where it like fast forward on its own. But I didn't touch the remote. I don't know. My PS4 is acting up. Whatever. So yes, Nick with the plot hole with the dog. Goji fan, actually Destroy All Monsters did Ghidorah very dirty due to barely did anything but get his ass kicked. At least Kaiju Ghidorah was awesome. Yes, Nick, you are right about that, but at the same time, opinion, I feel like the final battle of Destroy All Monsters just has more weight behind it than Final Wars. That's just me. I just feel like, I don't know, Destroy All Monsters just did it better with the music and everything. Granted, Ghidorah got his ass kicked. He was outnumbered, yeah. But it was just cool to see all the monsters together like that. Bring on Titano Lovers, says Chris. Oh, man. Leslie, yeah, Destroy All Monsters did Baragon and Varan dirty, but Final Wars did Hedra and King Caesar even dirtier. Final Wars even did Manda dirty, you know. So yeah, the dirty deeds done are definitely more on Final Wars' end than Destroy All Monsters. I've gone over almost all the points. So I think we're about ready to tally this up. Again, we're not going to get any more comments in here, huh? Come on. All you got to do is put Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. Don't be scared to put down a comment in the live chat. You will not be attacked. That is not what this is about. This is all about fun and just having a good time together. That's all this is. There must be like some dust or something on my freaking... on my Pacific Rim Blu-ray or something, because never did this before. Now all of a sudden it's like skipping. So I guess I have to clean my Pacific Rim Blu-ray. Tim, Destroy All Monsters all the way. We have a vote. Okay. All right. I think that's going to be it, you guys. I want to leave some of this show to other things. I just didn't want it all to be Destroy All Monsters versus Final Wars. So I'll give you till it hits an hour and 25 minutes. Right now we are at an hour, 24 and 25 seconds. So you have that many seconds to get your live chat comment in. Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters. By the time that hits an hour and 25, voting's closed, and we're going to tally this up and pick our overall winner. Leslie, I think we can all agree that we all are glad that these films were, in fact, the last Godzilla film, considering the great stuff behind both of them. That is true, Leslie. That is true. I will say, though, I still think it's kind of sad that Godzilla Final Wars was the last tokusatsu full-fledged Godzilla film. That's my only thing. I would have liked to see something better, tokusatsu-wise, from Godzilla for Final Wars. That's me, though. But yes, like Reptile said at the beginning of the stream, it's all Godzilla. We all love it. And that's what I mean. And voting's been closed now for 25 seconds. So we're going to tally all this up. And between all the points and everything, we're going to see here. So for Destroy All Monsters, overall votes. Leslie, oh my God, Goji fan, and I actually agree on something? No! Bobby Reynolds, I'm a Godzilla Final Wars is one of the badass sagas next to GMK. You have Godzilla kicking ass and taking names. That is true. Okay. So for Destroy All Monsters overall, we have, let me make sure we're good on comments. Okay. We have 10 votes for overall Destroy All Monsters. Final Wars, 3 overall votes. Destroy All Monsters, main points and factors, 11 points. Final Wars also has 11 points. But it's the overall that helps Destroy All Monsters win this battle. Because 11, 12, 13, 14 votes, all for Final Wars. But Destroy All Monsters has 10, 21 points. So Destroy All Monsters wins this debate. Again, that's not biased. It's not rigged. It is not rigged. It is not fake news. It is not fake news. I was fair. I was fair in points. I was fair in points. You can ask anybody else here who has been here since the beginning. This is not biased. This is not biased. If Final Wars won this tally mark, I would have given it to him. I would have been like, okay, Final Wars wins. It's not rigged, though. This is not rigged. This is not rigged. I still do have polls, though, up on the Facebook page, Instagram story, and I do have a poll on the community here and on my YouTube channel that do have polls voting Destroy All Monsters or Final Wars. So there's those polls that are just for fun up there, too. So make sure you go vote in those polls. But as far as the debate here goes on the channel, for everybody who was here, we have Destroy All Monsters beating out Final Wars. From 21 points to, what did I say? 11, 12, 13, 14 points. So we have 21 to 14. Nah, lots of bias flying around here. There's not bias, though. It's not, man. It is not. I gave Final Wars some strong points. I gave Final Wars some very good points here. I even gave Final Wars a bonus point. Destroy All Monsters didn't get no bonus points. KG 21, it can drink now. Monster Report, Destroy All Monsters for the win, and then Chris, just see that's what it is, though. We're just all having fun here at the end of the day. You know, we like what we like. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinions. I'm just making not an argument, but just, you know, it's a debate. It's a debate. You know, Final Wars doesn't need your pity. LOL. It wasn't pity, though. It was a legit bonus point that I gave. I just didn't give it a point because I felt bad for it. That's what I mean. I was as fair as I could be. I was as fair as I could be. So, if you don't think I was fair, go back and rewatch the first hour of this stream. But I was as fair as I can be. And at the end of the day, Destroy All Monsters is a stronger film. Final Wars is a mess. But that's okay. At the end of the day, it's all Godzilla. We all enjoy it to a certain extent. We're all going to always like something more than the others. Just how it is. Look at me. I'm not a big King Kong fan, right? I'm not. But Kong Skull Island, best movie out of the Monsterverse, period. Better than King of the Monsters, better than Godzilla X Kong. I love Kong Skull Island. Best movie out of the entire Monsterverse series. Will that still stand after this new one coming? I don't know. We'll see. I most likely will, because this new one that's coming up just looks like dumb, stupid fun. Kind of the same with Godzilla X Kong. It was just dumb, stupid fun. Chris, I do have to go, but I'll still call you my friend. And, Titanosaurus sucks and King Kong Escapes is still boring. Oh, man! See, that hurts. Leslie, okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the Titano Goji fan situation. Oh, yeah, I'm stirring that pot. Well, I think Chris is running, though, Leslie. He's got to go. So we're just going to have to talk smack, and he's going to have to come back and rewatch later. Monster Report, Skull Island versus Kong 76. You know what? This might be some fun series with Kaiju Chill O'Clock. Would you guys be down for that? We kicked it off with a big one, Destroy All Monsters versus Final Wars, so now we can only go downhill from here. Skull Island versus Kong 76, two very different films from very different time periods, but both have a lot of strengths. And I don't dislike either of them. That's going to be a hard one. Leslie, no. Don't leave without getting your kneecaps, man. Oh, man. Guys, thank you all so much. This was fun, though. I actually had a lot of fun with this. Bobby Reynolds, now let's all take a dump on God Raiga versus King Ogra, in my opinion, worst kaiju films. Those films are bad. But you know what, Bobby Reynolds? Those films are almost meant to be bad. Those are like B-rated films. Those are meant to be bad. So, I don't know if you could really say that they are bad when they're kind of meant to be bad. Leslie, you're going to break up friendships with this versus concept. Let's do it. Oh, man. Leslie's like, let's do this versus concept for Kaiju Chill O'Clock. So maybe I'll consider doing that. Reptile 7876, it was a good debate. Thank you. See, that's what I needed Chris to see. Chris thinks I'm being biased. No, I have valid points. If I continue to do this, it's going to be just like it was here. I'm going to give valid points. I'm not, just because maybe I like a film more than another one, doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, oh, well, it's better. No, I'm going to give it valid points. You guys in the chat can weigh in on what you like more. And because I did. Here, look, you can even see, I wasn't lying. I had Post-its. I had Destroy All Monsters overall, Godzilla Final Wars overall. And then the factor points, when we broke everything down, Destroy All Monsters points, Final Wars points. I kept track. I'm doing this fairly. I'm not just making stuff up. So maybe that'll be something fun to do with Kaiju Chill O'Clock. If you guys are down for that, maybe I'll do another poll, like maybe this weekend sometime. And I'll talk about the debate that we had. And if you guys would like to continue seeing or having these debates on Kaiju Chill O'Clock, that could be something we could do. Because look, we still, granted, I'm kind of blabbering now, but we still have a lot of time to continue doing whatever else. And I guess, I don't know, I guess I have to clean my Pacific Rim Blu-ray because for some reason it was skipping. I don't know why. That sucks. I always take good care of my physical media. There must be like some dust on it or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But, no, that was a very good debate. I had a lot of fun. Bobby Reynolds, I can enjoy bad films if it's done well. If it's not done well, then there's no excuse. That's fair. That's fair. I understand that concept. But I always consider a lot of those movies, especially the movies that like the Sci-Fi Channel would put out. Oh, like all those movies are bad. You know, even Sharknado, those movies are bad. Anaconda versus Lake Placid, bad. Boa versus Python, bad. Mega Shark versus Mecha Octopus, bad. Mega Shark versus Colossus, bad. But no, this was a lot of fun, you guys. So maybe I'll continue doing this. Maybe we'll do this for the next one. And then Nick, he recommended some big juggernauts there. At least for me and for probably both of us, Kong Skull Island and Kong 76. That is actually probably going to be a fun one. So maybe we'll do that for the next one. We'll see what happens. You know, if these catch on, this could be just something new that I do for Kaiju Chill O'Clock, because then, like I said, we still have enough time to do whatever. You know, we usually do a room tour, which we'll probably go do that now. And yeah. So no, this was fun. This was fun. I'm glad. Now I'm sure that if there was a lot more people engaging with the stream, I'm sure Final Wars probably would have had more points, because I know on Chris's stream when he's discussed Final Wars, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, Final Wars, this, that. So that's what I mean. It's like, again, guys, atomic blasting that like button, all that stuff helps the algorithm with my channel and helps me appear for others who like Godzilla and Kaiju content. Because even though I'm over 2,000 subscribers, there's still a lot of people who don't know who I am, what I do, and it would be really great to see the numbers in the audience on Kaiju Chill O'Clock grow a little bit. So, you know, all I can say is, you know, to make these debates even more, we would take more people. And who knows, Kaiju Chill O'Clock may eventually work its way to the weekend. I'm still, if you guys haven't noticed yet, the show is kind of back, but it's been very sporadic. Like sometimes there's like a week or 2 weeks between Kaiju Chill O'Clocks, and that's just because I'm still kind of in unknown territory with what's going on with my life right now. Nothing has gotten solid set yet. So Kaiju Chill O'Clocks are still going to be around, but they're not going to be every week. I want to get back to doing them every week, but just hasn't been in the cards lately. So thank you all for understanding that. Monster Report, when people vote, it's called polling data. I'm Nick Polling, here to give you the data. Show all the way. I like that, Nick. That was good. But actually, first, one thing I want to get out of the way. Let me go check my mail, because I might actually have a package to open live here on stream. And I know you guys love that. Let me turn down the TV just a little bit, just because I don't want the audio of Pacific Rim to somehow get into the video, and just because it's going to be silent for a minute while I go do that. So actually, let me go check the mail really quick, and let me see if I have a package. I might have one. Hi, Fred. We forgot to get Fred's vote on Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters. Well, no mail yet. So probably no package today on Kaiju 2 o'clock. But that's okay. We still had a lot of fun. And we can still do way more. Let me see here. Bobby Reynolds, have I seen the Star Crystals and the Feeders movie? I have not. Bobby Reynolds, you have a lot that I have not seen, so I'll have to check some of these out. Nick, he's leaving us. He always leaves us alone. Fred, Bobby Reynolds said, Fred says he loves Final Wars more. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to get him to vote on that one. That might be a tough one for Fred. Leslie, the real reason why Goji Fan got a lot more engagement on his Final Wars stream is because there was a breakout of mental patients at the local sanitarium, but they have all been recaptured. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, wait till Chris I wonder if Chris is going to see. I hope he sees that comment. Oh, man. Chris thought I was attacking his fans when he was doing his Godzilla Kaiju tier list. All I said is that people were wrong. Leslie took it a whole new level now. Oh, man. And then Bobby Reynolds says, good luck on those films. Yeah, okay. Okay, you got me intrigued. I'll if I have time, I'll definitely make a note of those and check those out. Actually, you know what? Let me write down on a Post-it right now so I don't forget the names of them. Star Crystals and Feeders. All right, got them written down. I will check those out when I can in my spare time. And I think we're good. So, guys, we have a little bit of time left. Is there any... I'm trying to think if there's really anything else that there is to talk about. As far as I go, not a lot of new stuff. Again, I am kind of waiting on a package today to show up, but it's from Cavity Colors. But other than that, everything that's coming in right now is basically going to be pre-orders because stuff was delayed from the holidays and everything like that. So my order from Cavity Colors that's coming in was basically delayed. But again, it was all the holiday season, their release date for some shirts. And so it kind of just got pushed back. So now I'm finally getting that order. I'm going to be having some stuff come in from Ghost X Ghost. Though that's going to be coming in. That was a pre-order. Everything right now is kind of pre-order. Nothing's necessarily new. Godzilla Tower from Toho Maniacs X+. That should be releasing sometime this month, I think, unless that gets delayed. But I did have one of those on pre-order. So I'm really happy to finally have a Godzilla Tower figure. And other than that, if you guys have been following Facebook and Instagram pages, I've been posting like just little tiny stuff that I've been doing. So let me actually work on flipping the camera here for you guys. Oh, no footage! Because... Nick says, I forgot about that Godzilla Tower. Thanks for the reminder. Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for that to come out. Should be this month unless it gets delayed. But I've been working on some kits. Heavy Arms here was kind of a newer kit. I did get the Gundam Unicorn here as a gift. And then yesterday, I went down to the hobby store because yesterday it was rainy, hailing, it was very cold and wet, and I did not feel like really doing anything, but I didn't want to be a bored mess at home, so I was like, I'm just going to run down to the hobby store, since it's literally right down the street, basically, and if they had anything under $25, which is kind of my spending limit right now for things, I'll pick it up if I like it. And they had this Banshee here. So now I have the Banshee to go with the Unicorn. So that's why I picked up that. But I bought him and built him yesterday. Kind of fun. I wasn't sure about all the gold, but it actually came out okay. So, been working on that stuff as far as kits. Nick, thank you. Thanking you live on stream for the IMAX poster for Godzilla -1. I've already had some people give me a hard time over pinholes, but my excuse for that is if I'm going to get stuff framed, not only do I want it to look really nice, but that costs a lot of money. And if I just decided to keep all my posters off my walls until I got them framed, there would be nothing here. There would be nothing on any of my walls. So I'm in the mindset, you know what? Life's too short. Pinholes aren't going to be end all be all, in my opinion. Get it up on your walls and enjoy it. Even if you get it framed, no one's going to see pinholes unless they're like nose deep in your poster, which would be weird. No one's going to notice pinholes, even when you get stuff framed. So I say enjoy it, get it up. Now, I do make exceptions, though. Of course, as you all know, I've mentioned before, this here is from 1972. It is an over 50-year-old poster of Godzilla vs. Gigan. I don't have it properly framed, but I have it in something. But I want to get it in something else because then people told me the cardboard backing actually can release chemicals into the paper, which will yellow it over time. So I still got to work on getting this transferred into a better frame because I went a cheap route, right? Just to get it in something because it's 50 years old. It's over 50 years old. So, yeah, I do use pinholes. Or tacks, whatever. But again, it's not the end of the world. I want to get this stuff up on my walls and enjoy it. But of course, I do think about important things. So as old as that is, it needs to be in a frame. I need to get it into a better frame. But of course, that's going to cost some money. But I know Tim I don't know if Tim is still here, but I know Tim's been like actively looking for a proper frame for that. Because as you can see, the frame that it's in, it's too big to fit in this space with the light. But if I get something that's more compact to the poster itself, I can fit it up in this corner and it barely being by that light very nicely. Versus having something that's bigger and then it has to sit down and then I have like a blank area up here. So I know Tim's been hitting up some thrift stores and stuff like that for a decent frame. Because Tim's the one that did this. This isn't a poster. This is a puzzle. As you can see, get really close in there. Tim and Yasi did that for me a couple Christmases ago. And Tim found this frame for it at a thrift store. Wasn't very expensive. So, hoping Tim comes through again with some sort of a frame that can fit nice and snug to that poster. And we can get it in that corner. Because that's my plan. For now, it's just kind of sitting lopsided in there. Rich from Wisconsin, great tip on cardboard turning them yellow. Yeah, no. That was one thing I didn't even know. I didn't even know about that. So that shows you how much I know about like framing and posters and stuff like that. But again, for certain things, yeah, some people's skin may crawl that I used thumbtacks for things. But at the end of the day, I say get it up on your wall, enjoy it. You know, because again, if I really took the time to get so much stuff framed, there would be nothing on my walls. They would be bare, boring. Life's too short. Get it up and enjoy it. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Get it up and enjoy it. But for very important things, definitely make an exception for a frame of some type. I even utilized the Skeletor box art from the Mondo Skeletor. Some people may cringe at that. Me, I don't really care about boxes all that much, but this art piece was so nice, I had to get it up over here by Snake Mountain. And next to this collaboration, which this is something that I collected from all the Origins figures and stuff like that. And then I gave them all to my mom. And my mom, she's very artistic. So my mom cut out a lot of the shapes and everything for the packaging, and then she made this board. So, you know, I like that because the way it came out, because then you have all these nice little art pieces of He-Man and Skeletor and stuff like that. But love that thing. But again, even if I do decide to frame things down the road, again, unless somebody is nose deep in your poster and just like, or let's see, how can I do this? Look at that. What is that? You know, they're not going to notice. They're not going to notice pinholes in your posters. Monster Report, got Titanic Creations Big Gorgo coming in April. I still got to order me one of those. Reptile 7876 said footage. Let's see. Yeah, I still got to get me one of those Gorgos. I just haven't had the budget to pre-order one right now, sadly. Monster Report, I used 3. Oh, I did not know that was a thing. Interesting tip there, Nick. Thank you for that. And then Bobby Reynolds, I wonder if you can make your Bobby Reynolds, what do you mean if I can make my poster? I don't know what you meant by that. But yeah, no, life's too short. I say get things up on your walls, enjoy it. And even if you do frame things down the road, again, unless they're nose deep in your posters, you're not going to see a pinhole in a frame. That's just me. Skeletor! Check out this bad boy. Again, if you guys haven't yet, go check out my review. It's a 40-minute review, but man, I'm kind of happy it gained some traction. It was gaining like 100 views a day there for a little bit, and now it kind of slowed down. So I would love for it to pick back up. You know, sometimes you might have that video that makes it or breaks it for you. At this point, any of my videos could literally make it for me. And who knows, Skeletor might be that one, because man, when I posted that, it gained some traction pretty quick. And I did a good job on it. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but very enjoyable, very great figure. Of course, you can see me in the reflection. But no, I love this figure so much. Absolutely amazing. I have all his accessories put away at the moment. I have them all kind of just put in a little Ziploc baggie here in my very messy drawer. Oh, but nah, great figure. Great figure. And if you guys haven't yet, please check out the Tucson Kaiju Festival video that I posted earlier this week too. That video, again, GojiFan93 Chris, he did all the filming and editing for that, so he gets all of that credit. But oh, it came out fantastic, and I cannot thank him enough. I've watched it once, plus more bits and pieces. What a fun time that was. So definitely go check that out, because that was a very fun video. Monster Report, Skeletor is awesome. His is still in the box. Need to get that video shot. Yes, you do. And then Bobby Reynolds said, like, if a poster of Togura, I can get a big, and call it, okay, yeah. So you're kind of like saying make your own posters. Yeah, you could do that too if you're, if your artist pen is strong enough. I am not the best artist in the world, but if I had more art, what would it be? What would be the word? More art. Shoot, I can't think of the word. If I had more of an artist's touch,
I would probably be doing, yeah, I probably might be doing my own kind of posters and wall art and stuff like that. But I just do not have that talent. That is the word. But no, thank you all for being here. Pacific Rim footage still playing in the background. And yeah, we're just kind of hanging out now. Had a fun debate. Like I said, I might continue doing the debate. Maybe not every chill o'clock, but maybe like every other one or maybe every two. I don't know. Bobby Reynolds, thoughts on James Cameron grabbed some of his films like True Lies and Aliens and released them using AI, taking grains away. AI is cool, but for me as a film goer, and I love movies and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, all the quality of Blu-ray, 4K, so on and so forth is great, but nothing beats me, for me anyway, having the grain, having some of the crackle and the pops of the film, on screen. I like that old style. But again, that's just me. I do like, of course, cleaner picture, crisper sound. It's all great. But as far as older films go, I like the grain. I like the pops and crackles and stuff that you get. It's just all a part of it. You know what I mean? And there's that nostalgia factor there for me. So I'm not too big on all the AI artwork and stuff that AI can do because we're getting into scary territory here as human beings. We need to like stop because there's a lot of this stuff is just going to ruin. And I don't want to get into that on here, but yeah, that's just kind of where I stand with it's cool factor, but there's a lot more to it than it just being cool. But no, thank you all for being here. We're just kind of taking a gander around. I don't know if there's anything particular you guys want to see or for me to talk about. Again, did a great review on this guy, the Tucson Kaiju Festival video. A lot of fun. Oh, man, I cut out there for a second. Now I'm live again. My internet had like a little hiccup. Sorry, hope you guys are all still here. Here, let's say hi to Fred. Stretch. Stretch much. What do you think, Fred? Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters? Oh, Rich from Wisconsin says, hi, Fred. Good boy. What are you doing? Footage! What you doing? Did you have fun today? You really weren't a part of the show at all. You're dope. Oh. Tigers! Flip the camera. All right, guys. Well, as you guys know, Kaiju Chill O'Clock usually only goes for about 2 hours. And I would love to go for more, but in all honesty, I'm kind of out of things to talk about. But that was a good debate. Bobby Reynolds, in my opinion, it's going to look off and true like Arnold with his eyes in some parts. Yeah, the AI generated stuff is not perfect by far. But no, you guys, that was a good show. So I think I'm going to close it out because I really don't have anything else to talk about. Everything was kind of been posted in reviews and stuff. Again, things are kind of slow for me. Maybe I'll do another show next week. I don't know. Just kind of bear with me on that. It just depends on how things go here. And yeah, so thank you all for being here. Thank you all for liking. If you haven't yet, please atomic blast that like button. Helps out a lot. And like always, you guys, Bobby Reynolds, stay awesome. You stay awesome too, Bobby. Thank you.
And Richmond, Wisconsin, great fun. Until next time, guys, thank you all so much. I just have fun chilling with you guys. I just have fun hanging out with all of you. KG 101, have a great weekend. You too, man. Anyway, you guys, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. All those great things. Don't forget to Atomic Blast that like button, Atomic Blast, that notification bell, all those good things too. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Facebook and Instagram. Stay up to date with everything going on. And yeah, that's it. So again, guys, we're Godzilla Fan Freaks, and we'll see you next time.